Hello everybody, in this video we will set up our navbar and put it in a separate component. So let's create a new file under components folder. So go to components, create a new file and name it navbar.view. So let's set up our navbar. It's going to be a bit lengthy because the navbar is quite complicated, but it looks exactly like the Amazon one, which is something like this. So we're going to code this in HTML. So let's go and do that. Template, okay, as usual, and then okay. I know it doesn't make sense of what all these classes, but as usual, you can go and copy one of this and take a look at the default CSS. Next thing is div class container fluid desktop. Oh, I made a mistake. Spelled desktop. Nav. Okay, and then div class row, div class column sm2, and then there will be a logo area, which will be, and here will be image src equals to image logo. Make sure you copy the image folder so you can access the logo, and alt will be logo class image fluid. Okay, and a#ref, we're gonna change it to nuxling later on, but for now let's just set up our navbar first. Save this and let's go to our Google Chrome, and in order for us to see the changes we have to go to layout. Where is it? Layout, go to default, and we have to import the navbar and put it as part of the layout. But before that, we want to remove all this custom CSS by Nux, and we want to type script export default, and then we want to import. This will be our first time importing a component, and import navbar from components navbar. This is how you access the file in Nux: squiggly lines, components, and navbar. And then we have to make it as part of the components. You have to type in navbar. So once you import, you have to tell Vue that, you know what, I want to use this navbar as part of the default.view layout, and hence why you have to install it in the components section. Then only we can use this navbar and put it up here. So navbar, just like that. Now our layout has the ability to have navbar on its page. So let's go to Google Chrome. Now it's looking really nice. You see the logo is really beautiful, and then the color is exactly the same like Amazon background color. And now let's continue and go to navbar. Now you want to add a search bar, but we're gonna add that in the next video. But we're just gonna leave a space for that. SM6 PT0. This would be search bar. Okay, we're gonna copy this and paste it above here, and you're gonna say logo. Okay, div class column sm4 will be an empty grid, and after that we're gonna close this row and open a new row. We're gonna focus on this row. Div class column xl2 column large2 column md2. This is for responsiveness. So we add so many column, like we add XL, extra large, we add large, we add medium, we add a SM2 and a PL2. Okay, and here we want to add div class nav global location, This would be the delivery, which let me open up Sketch. This would be this delivered to California. And let's create Nux link, which won't be available for now, and type address class nav a2. Okay, and inside here you want to type div class equals to nav sprite id nav packard glow log icon. Okay, make sure you type it correctly, and after that div class glow ingress block, and in here you tap span class nav line 1, and the ID will be glow ingress line 1, and then deliver 2. I'll copy this, paste it below, and we change this to 2. This will be to 2, and then we'll change this to California. Copy this, save this, and let's go back to our Chrome and check out the changes. It looks kind of ugly, so let's go back, and I made a mistake here. We're supposed to change this to ID. Save this. Let's go back, and now it looks awesome. Let's add a note above here. Delivery. And in the future, we're gonna create a address schema and address API, and we will change this to that address. For now, let's continue where we left off. Next thing is to div class, where you're gonna copy this entire thing. Let's just copy this entire div, paste it here, and it will be 6. This will be 5, 4, 6. Then it will be 0. But we need to close this div first, okay? And in here, we're gonna type div class nav fill and div class nav shop. This will be, if you go to Sketch, we're gonna type all of this, like today's deal, your Amazon gift cards, help, registry, sell, and browsing history. And let's close this. Next thing is to add Nux link, which will be browsing. It should be browsing. Let's just type it history for now, and then class will be nav a2. Okay, and here we want to add span, which will be class nav line 2, and in here we want to type browsing history. And finally, we want to add another span that will show an arrow. It will be class nav icon nav arrow, and then style, which will be visibility, visible. Save this. This would be shopping. Okay. And down here, let's continue. Div class nav x shop container. Div class nav x shop. And then div, it's gonna be ahref class nav a. This will be today's deals. There will be your Amazon.com, and this will be gift carts, and this will be registry, and finally this will be sell. And I'll see the changes. It looks nice and all, but we haven't created a history page yet. We have all the details here. It looks really nice. Let's adjust the browsing history a little bit. So let's go back and let's go to nav a2, which is a Nux link, and add a new class, which will be nav single row link. save it, and let's go back, and we'll go bottom. Now it looks a little bit better. Now let's continue where we left off. Close this down, and you want to add a new part, which will be accounts and order. Okay, and now div, we're just gonna copy this entire div, and then we're gonna change this to 4 5 6 5 6 4, and then it's gonna be 0. And now add div class tools, nav tools, and then ahref, which will be ID, ICP, nav fly out, class nav a, nav a2, and then ICP ling style 2, and then span will be here, and it's gonna be a class ICP nav and ling inner, and inside the span will be another span that will be class nav line 1, and there will be another span in here which will be class ICP nav globe image 2. Copy this, paste it here, and change this to language. Okay, and we'll save this, and let's go back, and it looks a little bit cramped up and there's no global icon. Let's go back and check what's the problem. I think it's because we forgot to add a missing dash here. Save this, let's go back, and now it looks pretty amazing. And let's continue and go back here. Underneath here there'll be another span, class nav line 2, then span class will be nav icon, nav arrow, style visibility and visible. Okay, and down beneath this a tag you want to type span class ICP nav ling border, and save this. Let's go back, and it should have a link here. We should have something here that will say NBSP, all some spaces, I guess. Yeah, there you have it. And now let's close this a tag, and down here you want to create a Nux link, which will be to register page, and then the class would be nav a, nav a2, and then ID will be nav ling, and then account list, and finally tab index will be 0. And now the span, which will be class nav line 1, and in here you want to add hello sign in, and then here will be span class nav line 2, and then will be account ampersand, and it will be list. Down here span class nav icon nav arrow, and then style visibility should be visible. Save this, let's check. There we have it. It looks kind of nice actually. And beside this we want to add an orders, and after this Nux we want to add another Nux link, which will have a class nav a, nav a2, nav single row link, and it will be to orders. And then in here another span class nav line 1, and then after that copy this entire span, paste it here, change it to 2, and type orders. And then we have orders, and the final step will be to create the cart. So let's go back and another Nux link, which would be to cart, and then class will be nav a2, and then there'll be ID called nav cart. Inside here will be span area hidden, which will be true, and then class nav line 1. Copy this, paste it down here, and change this to 2. It will be cart, and then it will be a picture of the cart down here. Close this. Class will be nav cart icon, and then nav sprite, and then another span will be ID nav cart count, which will be the number of the cart products, hidden true, and then class nav cart count nav cart 0, and then just put 0 for now. Alright, it looks very lengthy. Let's add another one called cart here. Let's go back. Now we have a really beautiful looking navbar, except the search bar. In the next video, we are going to add the search bar here to perfect our navbar. I'll see you guys in the next video.